OTT connection as you choose.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Okay, I'm sorry. Hope you guys can hear me. The USB-C cable that you were showing us, was that the charging cable, or is that an audio routing for devices that don't have a 3.5 mm jack?
It's both. It can act as the charging cable, but it can act as the audio routing cable as well.
And that's going to be on both the 65 and the 85, or is it
65,
just on
65 and the 85. Yeah.
the 85? And then do you have any information as far as the latency on the Bluetooth when you're using Bluetooth, especially for smartphones with? I mean, I realize that they're not intended to be gaming specific.
Yeah.
Obviously, people having a headset, especially with the microphone, with the boom, you're fixing the audio, which people will love. But I'm wondering on latency, if you can spare me a little bit.
Yeah, so I can actually pull that. One of my guys, Adam Robertson, comes to mind. He does play games with it. He is testing it, so he'll have a better idea of what they're saying about the latency period. I don't want to. Well, I do want to make something up and tell it to you now, but with my boss on the line, I won't. So let me just look into that and make sure that I'm giving you the right information.
It's a good question, actually. I hadn't really thought of it from a gaming point of view, but yes, it does a lot of stuff that gamers are looking for. It's comfortable, it's good received audio, it's good transmitted audio, but of course the latency is absolutely critical in that use case.
Definitely,
so,
yeah.
Well, I don't know off the top of my head. We'll look into it.
No problem. Thank you.
That's TK Bay?
Yes.
Yes, okay. All right, Michael Kaufman, I'm used to seeing you at the shows. Great to see you again.
Sorry, I was still muted. Great to see you as well. This is a whole new world that we're experiencing it this way.
It's a bit interesting. We're I think we're all making do. We should all get medals for being champs and just kind of adapting quickly. Taking away trade shows, it's my best way to get in front of you guys and answer your questions.
Absolutely.
So adapting to the virtual world is interesting, to say the least.
I think as soon as we hang up here, we all need to go and get martinis.
Yes, I'm okay with that.
You might argue we should have them now. I think that's the way it works, isn't it? It's an evening drink. I suppose it's the afternoon for you guys in the US. For Volker and I on the other side of the world.
For me here, California.
Yeah, you're doing really well. You're doing really well. I hadn't expected it to be so good.
Well, thanks so much. Great to see you guys.
Excellent. And does anyone else have any questions? We are pulling the attendee list. We're getting the review units out. There's some delays on what we're sending when, as you can imagine, with shipping issues. But overall, we're pretty much on track for at least the not the 85, but the other two.
So one last question, if you don't mind. I noticed when I looked up on your website that you have two different versions, one optimized for Microsoft Teams and one optimized for Univac Communications.
Yeah.
Is there, I mean, how big of a difference, and does it make a big difference if you select one over the other? Is it just like not going to work with one system over the other, or is there just more tuning in the audio profile?
There's no major difference. There's no difference at all in the audio performance. It's about integration into the Teams system. So it's getting a bit dark at my end here, so you might not be able to see this, but here is a Teams button. And that what means in the Teams variant that if you're entering a Teams call, you don't have to open the browser. You just press the button and it takes you to the call. It also means you get notifications in the Teams variant. You will have a purple light that shows up around here if you're getting a call from Teams, or to alert you that a Teams call is starting. So the Teams variant is really about offering specific integrations into the Teams infrastructure. The audio performance of the product is the same whichever one you pick. The standard we've gone for is the Open Office standard for Microsoft, which is the highest standard of transmitted audio capability, but that's across all the devices. The Teams one is just really optimized for the Teams software to give you easy access and easy capability into the Teams networks.
But they will both work in either environment. So the UC will work in the Teams environment. You're just losing some of that immediate functionality with the Teams button.
Perfect. Thank you.
Carl, would you mind giving out your email so I can follow up with you on some stuff, please?
Sure. The letter K, last name Bateson, B as in boy, ATESON @jabra.com.
And for that same reason, I'd ask Dave, I see you're in the rack of tiles here, that when you do one of these again, you might want to put the chat box so that for things like that, you could just, communicate directly with the participants.
Yeah, hey, Michael, thanks. And I appreciate it. And thank you all for joining us today. I do appreciate it. We've got 5 other rooms going right now. And all suggestions are great. We have been trying to figure out what would be best practice, what was working. We were actually hoping, at some point to be able to turn the videos on. Videos are and this is a technical issue with Zoom. Zoom uses what they call breakout rooms. This is not a breakout room. This is an actual meeting, because Zoom's breakout room idea is the host of the event has to assign people into those rooms. And I can't do that with you guys. You have to be able to freely go from room to room. We don't know who you're going to talk to. While you're in a webinar, the video and the audio by nature is just turned off. So the hand raising, it's more of a question, or the chatting, what you were talking about. We don't have we want to make sure that we want to get to a couple of questions, and that's one of the reasons why we opened up the Q&A for a short period of time. We don't want to keep you on these video conferences for 2 hours. And then after that, we move over to this, and you can ask questions, and this is going to go on as long as you guys are comfortable talking and chatting. It's an open forum.
And just for suggestion, I'm sure we've all done bazillions of these. I'm actually looking at another one as we speak on a second computer here. But the ability to do it in text and just let the participants or the subject guys copy the comment down and follow up, as opposed to an oral question, just sometimes might make sense. That's
Maybe.
all.
Well, you know what? Thank you. One of the things you noticed, if you go to showstoppers.com and go to the resource page, there is a survey, and we are collecting all comments. And then
Already done.
Perfect. So I'm going to turn it back to Calum. I certainly don't want to make this about me and Showstoppers. This is about Calum and his company. I hope you guys enjoy the day. Certainly, if you have any questions, Dave at showstoppers.com or Steve is SL at showstoppers.com. Reach out to us. We're doing this again in 2 weeks. You'll be hearing from us. Calum, thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
I'm sorry,
Thank
Dave.
you
Are you doing anything now that IFA is hit the swamp? Are you going to do any of this?
We've got some things going on, but I don't want to take away from this conference. Just reach out to me directly.
Will do.
Okay, thanks.
I want to say thanks to the Jabra guys, because I've been using your products probably for the last 15 years. Been using the 75Ts here, the Elite Active ones, really top notch.
Looks familiar. I should say thank you to you, David, for being a customer for the for however many years.
Yeah, I had the I don't know if any of you guys remember the BT205s.
Oh, wow. That goes far back here.
Yeah, that's like 2014 maybe. It was the first Bluetooth I ever had.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know Jabra actually created the first Bluetooth headset.
Yeah.
And how are you getting on with your 75Ts?
It's great. I have several others from other companies I won't mention here, but these are the go-to ones.
You're allowed to try the others.
CES,
that's fine.
Yeah, when I was at CES, I got several different companies sent me these types.
Yeah.
But I find that these are the best. So
yeah. A lot of people try hamburger before they go to steak, Dave.
Exactly.
So I'm really curious about your products, because I may have every single Plantronics headset built in the last 10 years in the case behind me here.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to your new Engage 2 thing.
Well, I'm actually really looking forward to converting you and taking that stuff out of the closet.
I just switched over in between. I don't know whether you saw it, but I have an Elara sitting here at my desk with the with this guy here that you don't want to see. That's been my mainstay right now, but maybe the 85H does it for me. We'll see.
I'm liking our odds. I'll take that on.
Hey, just one additional comment on the 75Ts. I had mentioned this to Carl in the last show that we're at. In my opinion, they're probably the best balance between weight and fit.
Yeah.
The best, I would say, seal from a passive noise canceling that I've ever had. And they're really designed for long-term use. You know, the only thing I wish is that firmware where you could use one independently.
Yeah.
Or and just swap back and forth. Because literally, I can just use one in my ear and go for it for X amount of hours and then just flip into the other one. You know, you would make a lot of people happy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think as you've described it, we tried to spend a lot of time working on the fit of the product. We wanted, when we looked at how people use true wireless products, and we asked people who used the product what was their biggest problem, and they said it was fit and comfort. And then we asked people who were interested in buying the product what was putting them off, and they said, we don't think it's going to fit. So that told us we really needed to focus on that. Where we have some advantage is that at Jabra, we're part of a broader Danish company called GM. He was also one of the world's leading manufacturers of hearing aids. Calum, the guys have told you before, I'm sure. And that gives us access to thousands of 3D ear impressions. So that's where we started with the product, was the ear. Worked out how we could get the best fit and seal in the ear. Then the next challenge was to squeeze all the technology into the size that fits in the ear, and where we ended up was with the 75T. Yeah, on the alternate use, that was something we wanted to try and do, but could not find a good solution in that particular form factor. It's fair to say it's on the technology track for the future. Yeah.
I still have two questions around noise cancelling. So, for instance, with the PLT Focus that I just shown, it's built for kind of suppressing all the office noise. Just, I mean, the machines,
that level of frequency.
Yeah. So it doesn't take away your screaming kids, for instance, which a Bose headset would do. A Bose headset basically puts you underwater.
Yeah.
So how have you designed your ANC?
Yeah, good question. I think, I mean, we talk a lot about ANC, but noise cancelling is formed of the two component parts, the passive noise cancelling and the active noise cancelling. The passive noise cancelling, of course, is a rather blunter instrument. It blocks everything out just by fit. So we've spent a lot of time on trying to get the passive noise cancelling very strong, which has a broad range of frequency blockout. So what I'm using here, the 65, doesn't actually have active noise cancelling. It's just passive noise cancelling that we've built up through the fit and the shape of the ear cushions. And I've been using it for the past 3 or 4 weeks since I've been at home. And I'm really surprised how effectively it cancels the noise in the first place. So the first choice is to get the fit, the ear cushions, the shape right to block as much of the passive noise cancelling as we can. And then on top, the active noise cancelling, as you say, it's a choice of frequencies. Bose was originally developed around the airplane engine and those type of frequencies, and then moved around. Some of the Sony product is actually focused at and you guys probably try these products more than me and know better than I do, is more focused at voice frequencies. We kind of took almost sounds like a cop-out, but it's a kind of a neutral position of where we wanted to be. That we felt these products with active noise cancelling, yes, you would use them in the office, but not only in the office. You'd use them when you were traveling, you'd use them at home. So as well as having the passive noise cancelling to block out as much of the total noise as possible, the active noise cancelling would be a solution that covered as many frequencies as well as possible. The noise cancelling solution is a digitally hybrid solution. So you basically have forward-facing microphones here that pick up the noise, then try to block out as much of it as possible. Then there's additional microphones within the ear cup to detect the noise that comes in and try and cancel it again at a second level. So a long answer to say passive noise cancellation is important to block everything out. We've taken a fairly neutral point of view on not focusing on the higher or the lower frequencies, but cancelling as generally well as possible. In the end, I think, of course, we have to send you a pair, and you can try it for yourself and see how it works for you.
Yeah, I create a noisy environment, just an artificial one, so that I can use it for all headsets. It's always the same noise.
Yeah.
So the additional question is, the 65 does not have active noise cancelling.
No.
Is that a cost matter, or why did you do it that way?
I think maybe there's a couple of, is there a cost element to it? Yes. It's also trying to work out the trade-off between helping people block noise out in the right way. And of course, active noise cancellation, if you do it properly, infers some more costs, some more battery use, some more weight, and so on. I think what we found with this product is the passive noise cancellation is strong enough that it is very effective of blocking noise in a general working environment, whether you're at home or whether you're in the office. Yeah. Again, you have to try it. But I think in comparison to even some ANC products that you can buy, you'll find the level of noise cancellation is very effective. And I kind of feel now I've been working from home for a while, I'm reasonably well qualified to say it because I've been using the product for 3 or 4 weeks, and it works really, really well.
Sometimes it's kind of surprising. For instance, this guy here, Marshall, it used to be, the Marshall monitor used to be a passive, just headset, very simple. But this one is the ANC version. Yeah. And they've done an excellent job. I was really surprised because I did not expect them. It's more like a style thing to wear these things.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's very effective in getting the family noise around you away from you. So I'm really curious about this. Cabin pressure, you're probably aware of that term, which isn't really pressure, of course, but you're feeling that way.
Yeah.
How are you dealing with that?
How are we dealing with, in terms of creating this kind of suction idea around the ears? Yeah.
It's only your mind. Of course, there is no suction. It's only because the frequencies are gone.
It's mental. I don't think we have a specific plan for that, Carl. You may know better than me. We haven't actively tried to do something different there. So yeah, I think there's no specific plan to be able to manage it. I guess in terms of the way we've managed the frequencies, we've tried to have as broad a coverage as possible, so it feels as natural as possible.
Right.
Yeah, and I want to check into that too, because so David was wearing the 75 earlier, and we had specific a specific add-on to allow for the breathability and the noise, and with both noise through and the extra speaker set to allow some of the noise to come in, which sometimes people think of as pressure. I'm gonna.
It's very interesting how they did this. I mean, you can just dial it in and out. It's not very effective. These are not very good headphones. But how you deal with it, that you put the volume here and the amount of noise canceling there, it's really cool.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But it's no endorsement. It's not a good headset.
Yeah.
I actually just sent Carl an email, kind of on the flip side of what you were saying, Volker. That, as I said, I'm in a New York City apartment with my wife and 3 kids, all on Zoom calls at any one given time. So bandwidth is taking a hit, and that's another problem. But I found that any headset that I've got that is full-on active noise canceling makes me crazy. Because I mean, not only do you get the pressure thing, which is its own thing, but with 3 kids that are constantly saying, "Hey, Dad, can you help me with math?" Or fighting between themselves, I actually prefer my headset that does not have active noise canceling, because I can hear just enough. And when somebody's voice gets raised, then I can hear that. So I think that for many people, and like for some of the publications that I write for, where it's a little more family oriented, parents of, and I mean, I'm the tech guy, so that's what I do, but it's more family audience. Something with passive noise cancellation, just a solid cup. I mean, I've got a pair of that other company over here too. I actually prefer those for working from home, especially during this insane situation.
So I have a very loud spouse on the phone who's very loud.
You've met my wife.
So I need 2 things. I mean, I need the noise canceling on the boom. So that people don't hear her but hear me. That's the one important thing. And the other thing is I need to concentrate. And if it's good enough that I put some music on and I don't hear it anymore, that's all I need. And that's why I think that the idea of dialing it in and out as much as you want, so you can adjust to your needs, It's not like given, and you don't have to go into an app and go somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's a really cool thing to have.
Okay.
It could be done in software, so it's basically a suggestion.
All software based, and we're actually, once you buy it, you can update it. So as our software algorithms get better, we're automatically sending that to you via updates anyways. Mike, to your point, we do have the hear-through technology. So, you know, if you are fully immersed, you can make that click to allow the sounds to come in. And if your wife is, you know, particularly vocal that day, you can then shut off hear-through and you won't hear her.
But can she turn it back on? That's the problem.
Yeah. Don't tell her about that feature.
Another question about the 85. Can you mix your monitor sound? That is, how much do you hear yourself while you're talking? Can you raise your own voice inside your headphones and lower it, or is that fixed?
In the app you can. So there's an app that comes with it, and you can. There's a built-in equalizer, so that allows you to change basically to the best sound for you.
Good. Yeah, you only need like 2 or 3 settings. That's all. 2 or 3 levels.
I had a quick question about Bluetooth standards, audio standards. I looked at the webpage for the 85, and it said something like, we support the latest AAC standards. Where are we with Bluetooth audio standards, and how important are they to the perceived quality of the audio for your customers?
That's it. Do you want that, Calum?
Yeah, no, go ahead, Carl.
Okay. I was just going to say, Tim, that's usually when I unplug the call and say I had a problem with my internet connection, and pass it over to product management. Essentially, if you're using the dongle, it's going to be a much stronger signal than you are with native Bluetooth, and you know that's intentional. The Bluetooth coming out of some of the computers just isn't going to be as strong as the proprietary signal coming from a USB headset, or sorry, USB dongle that's going to interact with your headset. And I think that's part of that one-size-fits-all Bluetooth methodology. And that's why, you know, some of the vendors are going to those dongles just to boost that signal and have a stronger, better, more reliable signal.
Hey guys,
Right, but you can't do that with a phone typically. It's
does
more
somebody have a
available.
radio or TV on in the background? I'm hearing a little bit of feedback. I'm not sure.
So just a couple slides to refresh everyone's memory.
Like a woman is talking right now.
This project is. Here we go.
Not quite sure where that's coming from, but okay. So go on, and Calum, just let me know how long you want to keep on going. I have no agenda here, so you're welcome to stay and talk. So just let me know what you want to do.
We can stay as long as anybody wants to stay.
Exactly.
I think carrying on with the Bluetooth question. So yeah, the dongle is supplied to work into your PC because, as Carl says, it's a higher level of dongle. It's a Bluetooth 5.0 dongle. Into your smartphone, it's just the Bluetooth connection to the smartphone. To what extent does that matter to our customers? Primarily, these are products that are for working use. So the primary use case you have is experiences like this with Zoom, with Teams, in collaboration, making calls. And in the main, I think the experience from our customer point of view is pretty good. We have good transmitted audio, good received audio. It isn't a major issue. Any variables to what manages the Bluetooth density, to what type of office furniture you have, what walls you have, and so on. We do make products where DECT is the bearer, and that gives you better range, it gives you better security, and of course that doesn't connect to your smartphone, but as I think I mentioned earlier, when I'm in the office, I use an Engage device, the bearer is DECT, connects via USB-C into my PC, and that gives me better range, security, and better audio quality. In general, that's a product we sell, or a solution that we sell into banks, financial institutions, where you've perhaps got a very crowded trading floor, an environment like that with a very high level of density where Bluetooth will break up, and or there is a high level of concern about security, and the DECT standard offers a higher level of security. But for most, let's say, day-to-day uses, if you're not in a too crowded office, which of course none of us are right now, Bluetooth works pretty well with a smartphone or with a PC for your day-to-day office use, is what I use or have been using the last 3 or 4 weeks when I've been at home.
I'm sure this question's been asked multiple times before, but I'm new to the chat. Hi, guys.
Hi, Abby. How are you doing?
I'm an analyst, not a journalist, but I've been getting a lot of questions around dual-use devices, but not the normal dual use. The dual use typically we think of as work and home, or work and play, or home and travel. Here I'm seeing, parent and child. And one of the questions that I get asked, I've actually heard multiple times, is what headset would I recommend for someone who is a teacher or is on conference calls, but then needs to give this product to their child, and they don't want to deal with Bluetooth. Are there, I guess, 2 questions. I thought you said you had a lower cost wired headset. And then secondly, can the more expensive models work wired without ANC?
Yes and yes. So there is a this is the 65. There is a 40 Evolve 240 variant which is wired and just comes with a cable and connects into your PC. And we were talking about earlier the Evolve, the 85 and the 65 that also come with a cable 3.5mm jack that you can connect into a smartphone or whatever else. So you can pass it over. So if I wanted to pass this over now, you can pass it over. I could plug the cable in, and it can just connect into a smartphone. So yes is the answer to that. But I hadn't heard that dual use usage before either. But I guess all sorts of new use cases are emerging.
Yeah, no, this is definitely I'm stuck at home and I'm a teacher, or I'm stuck at home and I'm a marketing manager and I need to be able to pass this back and forth. Or I want to be able to give this to a child who I simply do not trust to keep this thing charged.
Yeah.
We also have different levels of corded headsets, and especially in the teacher community, and it sounds like you're US based.
Yeah, I am.
A lot of the teachers, have to buy their own equipment when it comes to headsets like that.
Yes,
so
yes, they do.
Yeah, they're tending to go to, we have a Biz line, we have 2000 line, a 2100 line. We have all these different lines that are series that are designed for USB connections and or phone connections. So we're seeing a lot of the teachers kind of at the lower end of the spectrum, especially if they're passing it off to a child. Whereas, if the municipality, for lack of a better phrase, is funding it, then they're going to the higher level products. So, Calum mentioning the Evolve 40 or the 65. That would probably be more apropos for someone who's not paying for it themselves as a teacher.
Understood. Yeah, I would actually, given that I wasn't aware of the flexibility of this line, I was recommending cheap gaming headsets.
Yeah.
Plantronics actually makes a bunch of nice, really inexpensive ones that are designed to be worn all day because they're designed for gamers. So yeah, I'm looking forward to after the chat, I'll ask you to send some over, and we'll get some heads on with them.
Yeah, well, comparatively, I can't badmouth Plantronics. They do a great job with their headsets, but usually in case to case, when we're head to head with them in comparisons, we tend to be coming out on top right now. So it does hurt my feelings a little that you brought up the P word, but we'll get you flipped over.
Fair enough.
But yeah, as Carl says, we have this is the Evolve 2 range. We have an original Evolve range, which has been in market since 2014, and there's, I think, over 10 million of them in homes and offices now across the world. And the Evolve 20 and 30 are the corded lower end versions of that product. And we're seeing a lot of demand for those type of products right now, where people need a quick, cheap solution as well. Like as Carl says, we see educators having to pay for the stuff themselves. Then you have at other ends of the range where perhaps the company are paying, and you want the flexibility, like with this as a wireless device, to be able to move around the house and do whatever you want. So yeah, our task is to be able to we understand people want to use the products in a different way, and our job is to be able to give you the best audio experience, however you want to use it, whatever you want to connect to.
Good.
Avi, were you Techsponential?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, name sounded familiar. Excellent. Brian, did you have a question?
Ah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think in the first place, this range of products, the Evolve range, is designed for people who normally work in offices or maybe working from home. So for our call center range, we have a Pro and Engage range of products, which are deliberately lighter and more flexible for use, that you can wear up to beyond 6 hours. These are using primarily in the office when you're making calls like this, maybe listening to music. So we're probably imagining you're going to use it to 4 to 6 hours, even though it's got 37 hours of battery life. Probably you won't necessarily use it all that long. Nevertheless, we want to try and make it as comfortable as possible, as you say. So we spent a lot of time and effort trying to work on the design. I think the first place it starts is with the ear cushions, because that's the thing that's actually connecting to you. So we've created these angled ear cushions, leatherette, but with an airflow through, as you say, so it doesn't feel that it's too hot when you're wearing it for too long. So it fits comfortably on your ear. The next question really is the clamping force. Sometimes you have products that just kind of squeeze your head and enable them to make them uncomfortable. So we've tried to make this as flexible as possible. And this kind of kink here isn't just a design feature. It's designed to be able to transfer the weight in the right way, so it fits comfortably and nicely on your head. We've also tried to, or the intention has been to use premium materials. This is a metal material. This is a soft padding here as well. Everybody's shape of head is different, so it fits on your head in a nice and comfortable way. So I guess if you're using a call center, honestly, we wouldn't necessarily recommend this product. The Engage 50 or something that is a little bit lighter, that you're probably going to wear more than 8 hours a day, makes sense. But if you're working from home and you're working in the office and it's 4 to 6 hours, then building the cushions in the right way with the right cooling, the right clamping force, the right materials are going to give you the best level of comfort. All that said, it's now 9:15 in the evening here. I started at 7 o'clock in the morning with this, and it's still pretty comfortable. I'm not desperately trying to take it off my head. So you can use it for long periods of time as well.
Yeah, and Brian, this is, keep in mind, this is the Evolve 2 line, so we're kind of learning by our past also. As an example, this is my Evolve 80, and the breathability on this was our first active noise cancellation headset. It was heating up after several hours. So to your point, especially from Arizona, where I've been there a lot of times, you're going to heat up quick. It's going to be very uncomfortable. By getting into the different material set, the different clampability, the breathability that we've put into the Evolve 2 line, we're escaping some of those earlier issues with the iterative process or iterative design process. And you're on mute.
Yeah. We always talk about ABC. It's audio, build, and comfort. And if you can't get any of those things right, then you can't do anything else. You need to have the good audio, solid build, so it's reliable, and it's got to be comfortable to wear.
Yeah, for me, it's clamping force because I've
I mean, everybody's head shape and everybody's ears are different. So you need to try and find a solution where there is the appropriate level of flexibility.
Is there any call for a stand, a headphone stand?
Ah, yeah, we have such a thing just here. So this is the stand for my device. So it plugs into the USB-C into the PC, so it charges this way. For the 85, let me see if I've got a stand here to be able to show you what that looks like. Yeah, here's the 85 stand. And this actually works rather nicely. It'll sit on your desk, oops, excuse me, like that. So then it sits on your desk in that way, which is a really quite nice presentation of the product. So yeah, people like to have a stand. It's part of the managing your desk and managing the device in the right way. Also, of course, it's even though, as I said, it's more than 24-hour battery life in both of these products, it's just much more convenient to be able to drop it into your stand. It charges overnight and you're ready to go then the rest of the day. You should never really have to run out of battery.
You're going to want to include the pictures of those stands in the in your product photos. Your product photos tend to just show the headset by itself, on a white background. Those stands make a real difference for this particular work at home use case.
Exactly.
I mean, the high end stuff that, if you're getting something from Poly, which is also in that $400 or $500 range, will come with that, and the call center people know that. But the only real consumery headphones that I've seen that deliberately showed off a charging and this is where it lives station was the dearly departed Dolby Dimension. So.
Oh yeah, oldie. So we do actually have the imagery in the holder. And Calum, we lost a bit just because of where the camera angle was, but it's almost like cupping.
It is, yeah. So it's kind of, this is the shape of the stand. You can see it here. Here are the connection points, and then you simply drop the connect points on here like this, and it just kind of holds it really nicely like that. Presents the product really nicely and then charges. So it's getting a little bit dark in my part of the world, so the light is going a little bit, was not improving, but I guess you get the idea there.
You do, thank you.
And that's part of that Scandinavian design or Euro design. I know Volker is gonna love that. It's just it looks great. It's very contemporary looking, and I think we're gonna get some design awards from that. Speaking out of turn later in the year.
I'm very much
just
into
real
that.
quick, if I could interrupt Calum and Carl, if you have the opportunity and you want to upload more photos, you still have lots of space on the online press kit.
Okay.
So if you have photos that speak to this question, throw them up there.
All right, I do.
It's available to you.
Yeah, we will somewhere have, as per Avi's request, pictures of the product with the stand. Absolutely.
Yeah, no worries.
So I unmuted myself because I just noticed things. It's very interesting to listen to you for so many minutes. So one of the things you did is you took the headset off.
Yep.
And you were still connected. And I would expect it to have a sensor that mutes yourself if you take it off. Do you have something on your product?
Yeah, I mean, it's, on this one, the mute comes with the boom arm. So if I acts automatically as the on and off. So if I'm then moving the product like this, it's this one. The 85 does have an on-ear sensor. So with this product, it wouldn't work with this product in the way I've just described it. So it is you get it in the 85, you don't get it in the 65. But the easy way to do it is from a most straightforward way to manage it, and that also works well. Rather than me having to go into the client and press mute and so on, I can just flip the boom arm up and down.
So when we talked about Bluetooth connectivity, with guys who are just listening to hi-fi music, they always talk about codecs. So they say that most headsets only support the SBC codec, and iPhones use AAC, and all the Android guys are just another alphabet soup. So what are you supporting on your headsets for listening to music?
That one I have to look up.
Well, if you published it, it's
AAC codec we have, that's right. It should all be on the website, Carl. I don't know if you know off the top of your head.
I was trying to pull up the codec question because I've been asked it 3 times in the last 2 weeks.
Is it important? Or is it
it's a good question. I mean, as you say, people talk about it a lot and the requirement for it. I don't know. I mean, in many ways, music consumption is a very personal thing, right? I mean, we do a lot of testing on the actual received audio, and then when we put it on people's ears, it tends to have a different response. So it's a very personal thing. I think, I guess for this product, which is a mix of enterprise use and consumer use, it's a nice to have, and it's good that we have the AAC in there. But I think it's probably not a must have. But yeah, I think you're going to get a different answer to each person you ask that question. I think it's a personal thing.
Yeah, the other one was aptX, and it's a techie question. Most people aren't concerned with it at all. And it's like 24-bit audio. I mean, does it make a difference or not? I don't know. Not in my ears. I'm old enough.
Yeah. I think my ears are beyond that as well. Yeah, I think the answer is AAC. Yeah, then you have a good excuse.
We do have the aptX.
Good.
I'm just trying
to.
Yeah,
it covers all bases.
Yeah, if you have AAC and aptX, you've got your bases covered. And for the technical buyer, who cares? I mean, the only technical buyer you really need to worry about are the ones who are, going to be buying 40 or 50 of these at a time for a small business or for a division. And then maybe having these as check boxes is genuinely important.
Okay, apologize. We have AAC, not aptX. So I spoke on that. The reason is I'm pulling this up now. The aptX was draining the battery, and in our user cases, the users were more interested in battery than they were in the specific codec. And then with the 85, you were getting up to 37 hours battery life. So it was a concerted effort to preserve battery, give you, days of audio instead of just draining it, for just a couple different use cases.
Makes sense. Terry's iPad. We can see you.
Hi, Terry.
Hi. I just had a few questions. I write for LA Times and Westways. With LA Times, I do the annual holiday gift guide. And so I also have to juggle. I also work at the Apple retail store in Santa Monica.
Oh, wow.
So I have to be very careful because of business conflicts. I can't ever review any Apple products, and it's a slippery slope sometimes with audio, but I think travelers need to be aware of things. What appeals to me right now, we're doing education at home and online learning for Apple, because Apple's been good enough to keep paying us even though our store is closed. And so selfishly, I thought, well, this would be a great time to check out the Jabra headset that you're showing off. Now, the only thing I don't know, since my primary outlet is travel, is this also a good headphone for travelers?
Yes, I think I would answer that. So the original intention of the product was it would be for flexible working use. I mean, we designed and engineered this product when most people were sitting in open offices, but we also understood at the time that people were working flexibly and traveling. So we really wanted to find a solution that you could use anywhere. So if we think of the high-end product, the Elite 285, it probably has everything you would expect from traveling, whether you're traveling on a plane or the metro. It has the ANC capability to be able to block out noise when you're traveling, to enable you to listen to music. It has the hear-through capability that enables you, or transparency mode, to use Apple language. Yeah. We call it hear-through, but it's the same thing. That enables you to have audio that comes through if you're walking through the station or the airport and you want to listen to announcements, for example. It has 37 hours of battery, so it's going to have to be a pretty long flight before you run out of battery. It comes in the box with an adapter to enable you to plug into the airline system. And then if you want to make calls, I've done this before sitting in airports, and of course there's a lot of background noise in the airport, then you can just use the smart boom arm here. You just drop the boom arm out of the product, twist it round, and then you can make a call, and you just flick it away when you just want to listen to music. So was it built primarily for travelers? It was built primarily for people who work anywhere on the go, in the office, on a plane, at home. So yeah, it's a product that that I will be using when I'm traveling, yes.
Because another thing I wondered is I've been doing writing about virtual wine tastings, and
really, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, no, it's great. There's one, I'm doing a virtual wine tasting today at 5:30 in California, and then I'm following that with a virtual beer tasting. And what's fun about that is I've discovered the wine tasting, I feel very educational. I'm learning stuff about wine. I may be learning some cooking stuff. I'm cooking more than I have ever probably right now. So, staying safer at home, as they call it in California. And but the beer tasting, what's fun about it is it's a lot more informal, and it feels like you dropped in on a party.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm looking forward to later today. But I've been doing
Sounds
radio
fun.
shows about how I've been entertaining myself, staying safer at home. And when I hear the playback, because they call me from Orange County, and their audio always sounds better than my audio.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, with a headset like yours, because your audio is fantastic over Zoom, and I wondered, do you think on a call-in type radio show would it improve it? Because I don't know if it's my Wi-Fi or cellular connection. It's probably the cellular.
Yeah. I mean, there's no doubt you'll have better transmitted audio when you have a boom arm solution like this. Partly it's physics. The nearer you can get the microphone to your mouth, the more you can pick up. It's also, to some degree, the number of microphones, and then it's the DSP, the digital sound processing. What this does particularly well is pick this up, but not all the other stuff around you. So the way the microphones work, and in terms of the way the directionality of the microphones plus the digital sound processing, means this one, or this product, for example, blocks out 96% more background noise than our previous product did. So in that scenario, the audio that you are transmitting, regardless of what the bearer is, whether it's Wi-Fi or cellular or whatever, is going to end up being better because the pickup at source is better. So, I mean, this is also why we make these enterprise products with a boom arm. We try and make the boom arm as discreet as possible, like this one that clips kind of in and out, as we said before. Right. But you just get a better voice pickup with the boom arm. And primarily you get a pickup of the things that you want to hear. So it's not picking up everything that's around you. It's picking up the voice in a much clearer way.
Right. Now, what was I going to ask? Hang on. I had some notes, and I did raise my hand, but you guys, I think,
ask where to send the wine to.
Well, I was very lucky because I wrote about virtual wine tasting, and the first week I did it just drinking my own wine. There's a company, you might even be able to get them in Denmark. They're pretty global, Saint Supri Estate Vineyards, and they're in Napa.
Yes, I've heard of them. Yeah.
Yeah, and so if you tune in, if you go to their Facebook page, you can catch it later too. I've been tuning in live, and it's really interesting, and it feels like you're traveling because they show you their vineyards, and you're outside in a vineyard, and you get to see their tasting room. You get to meet the guy that's in their lab, making sure everything's well formulated, and so it feels like you're traveling when you're not, because I really miss travel. And yet I think this year probably more people will travel when eventually we can travel. I think we'll be flying with masks. I think if we ride a train, we'll be wearing masks probably through this year. And I do think that probably a lot of people will take RVs out, you know.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
And so I think we've got to reinvent travel. But as an environmentalist, I'm really hoping people are going to notice the difference in the air quality and you know, maybe this will do more than Gerda has been able to do in terms of her campaign. Although I must say I'm a little troubled the way Sweden is approaching everything, as I think all of Scandinavia is concerned, because they've decided to go for the herd immunity, as I understand it.
So I'm sorry for interrupting, guys. We're coming up on just about an hour into this breakout session.
Okay.
Certainly if there are a conversation relative to the product line for Jabra, I encourage everyone to continue their conversations with Calum and with Carl. All of the contact information is there as well. But I certainly, you know, when we start to get into what you were talking about, Terry, and I certainly do respect that, absolutely. We just
I completely
that we stay focused and respect everybody's time.
Could I just ask one more question?
So if David and Brian, if anybody else has any questions for Calum, for Carl, I guess now would be a great time to say something. Avi, I didn't get a chance to say hello and welcome.
Yeah, good to see you,
Thank
Dave.
you.
I'm gonna bow out here. I've got another call to jump onto. It was good talking to you guys at Jabra.
Good seeing
Avi, nice to see you.
Yeah.
So guys, throw on your cameras, say a quick hello, and as I said, I know that for us, we do appreciate everybody joining. I hope you enjoyed it as well. Stay tuned. Showstoppers TV will be broadcasting again in 2 weeks. You'll hear what we're doing.
Cool.
Great.
Thanks. Sorry.
Thank you, everybody.
All right,
No
Terry.
worries. Thank you so much.
I'll follow up with you later, Terry.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.